Bigfoot. He's been sighted in almost every country in the world, but nowhere have there been as many sightings as we've had right here in America. I'm Wes Schaffner. I play medical examiner Quincy Glasscock in the new horror film simply entitled Bigfoot. Although Bigfoot is most recognized as living in the Pacific Northwest, film director Bob Gray chose to set his movie here in Mentor Headlands, Ohio, an area known for its thick forests, pristine beaches, and lush marshlands. But the question remains, could there be a Bigfoot living in Mentor Marsh?
Come on, kids, let's stay together.
Look, Miss Parker, it's a stork.
Kind of looks like a stork, but it's really a great blue heron. The marsh is home to many species of animals. Turtles, frogs, muskrat. Some people even claim a few bears live here, but I've never seen a bear. Rachel? Has anyone seen Rachel?
Yeah, a lot of people realize that the Bigfoot phenomenon was a Pacific Northwest creature to begin with back in the 50s and 60s and early 70s, but the Great Lakes region and Ohio, it became known for Bigfoot activity in the early 70s. And it's becoming more and more known for Bigfoot activity ever since then, with Lake Erie very close and the high grass, the cattails. Yeah, I do believe that the Mentor Marsh area would definitely be a place for a Bigfoot creature to be located. It's very conceivable that a Bigfoot could either A, pass through this area without being noticed, simply at night, or B, could roam around in this area for a few days without being noticed, without being detected. But I think sooner or later someone would have to see it.
What the hell was that?
I started writing Bigfoot in early February of 2004. Actually, one of the lead actors in the movie, Todd Cox, kept on me and kept bugging me. Every night I would get a phone call. How's Bigfoot? Send me some pages. What's going on? From there, you know, I contacted old buddies that, you know, knew a thing or two about working in television, and I had the equipment and the know-how to help me with the project, and I just hit the streets. When you do a movie, local movie, in your hometown, I found that the locals are real responsive to you, and they're very helpful, and that's been the case here. From the city to you know, just guys, you know, giving you police uniforms or squad cars or weapons. You do a lot of things yourself. In a typical big budget motion picture, there'd be an assistant director, a second AD, second unit. But all those things have to be handled now with a very small group of people, 2 or 3 roughly, instead of, you know, 13 or 14. And, you know, even simple things like, you know, carrying a light. You know, a camera guy or a director wouldn't be carrying his own light. But in this case, we have to, because you can't afford to pay those people to do it. So you work harder.
Gray assembled a troupe of actors from Cleveland to Los Angeles. After 2 months of auditions, he finally selected a very talented cast. Todd Cox, whom Gray has known since elementary school, has been living in LA and working as an actor for 15 years. Gray thought he would be perfect for the role of Jack Sullivan.
I moved to Los Angeles in 1992. He had already been there for a few years, and he had come back for his mother's funeral, and through my mother, you know, found out that I was in California. Lo and behold, he lived 4 blocks away from me in Santa Monica, so I called him up, and we hung out a lot over the course of 10, 11 years, 12 years out in LA. So we just used to start coming up with scenes, and we'd, you know, put them in places here back in Mentor, around the marsh and everything, and so that's kind of like how it came about to come back here and shoot as well. Just a great location for what he wanted to do.
Liza Foster creamed the competition to win the role of Park Ranger Sandy Parker.
I became part of the Bigfoot project by answering an audition, and I went and spoke with director Bob Gray. He auditioned me, and he called me later, I think later that night even, and said, well, I would like for you to play the role of Sandy Parker. And I was absolutely thrilled. I immediately, it was late. I had started phoning, I called my mom and I'm like, Mom, hey, guess what, I'm going to be playing Sandy Parker. A lot of the experience I received from working on Bigfoot was all the hard work and all the hours that went into, not even just learning lines or performing it, but being out in a gravel yard at 6 in the morning in the freezing cold. Every day you're there. You spend so many hours with these people, and it's great. You become such a family. And I think that I've made a lot of friends on this movie that I'll always be friends with.
Brooke Beckwith, a 9-year-old girl from Mentor, plays Jack Sullivan's daughter, Charlie. Brooke performed the role admirably, especially considering the circumstances of her casting.
Brooke Beckwith was another incredible surprise. She plays the role of Charlie. And Brooke, that character Charlie, was originally written for a boy. And, when you do an independent film, sometimes you encounter some problems. One of the problems we encountered was 3 days before we shot, the parents of the boy we had cast for the role of Charlie decided they didn't want their son in a horror movie. Good idea. So anyhow, I'm in a pinch. I needed somebody, and the boys, quite frankly, there weren't that many good boys that we had auditioned. But we had a lot of girls that were really good. And the best one out of the lot was Brooke Beckwith. So we did a quick rewrite. Instead of Charlie being a ladies' man, we made Charlie a tomboy, who's very protective of her father. So, and Brooke came in 2 days before, learned all her lines, and was really good. She's a very talented young 9-year-old actress, and we're very happy to have her on board as well.
The creature was created by David H. Greathouse, a Hollywood special effects master now residing in Cleveland.
I had a costume maker in Los Angeles who bailed out on me last minute. He got some other big gig and he bolted on the project. I met with Dave Greathouse and we discussed what we wanted. I wanted to see the outline of the muscles. I wanted to see the shimmering chest. I wanted you to know when you saw this thing, your first impression is, wow, that thing's pretty buff. And he did it. He didn't have much time. I would say he built this costume probably roughly around 11 days. This is a low-budget movie, so it's not like he had a ton of money to deal with, too. And he did a great job, and it shows on screen.
And who exactly is the man behind the mask in Bigfoot?
Bigfoot is a newcomer to this field, and Bigfoot is actually a friend of mine, and his name is Sean Kipp. When I pitched him this idea about playing Bigfoot, the guy's 6'6", he's like, yeah, get out of here, yeah, you're going to make a movie. And when I told him that the suit was going to be custom made to his body, and that if he didn't do it, if he chickened out after we had the suit made, it was going to cost me a lot of money. Well, I think he decided, I may as well give this my best effort, and he has. He doesn't complain. He's in a very hot suit. I was really happy that he did that, and it was another big favor that I cashed in on to get this thing made.
Now you know just about everything it took to put this movie together. So if you're walking in the woods alone, and you hear a strange noise from the trees, get out of there. For Behind the Scenes of Bigfoot, I'm Wes Schaffner.